Woo! Hey! I think we're live.
I hope so.
Welcome to camp, everybody. We're so excited. Right? Are you guys excited?
I'm excited.
Maybe it's just me. What do we do first?
Probably introduce ourselves.
Yes, that's a really
Introduce
good
ourselves
idea.
is a good idea. I'm Hannah. I like yellow, my favorite color.
I'm Iman, and I'm a Hogwarts alum. I don't know if you can see that. And
I'm so jealous.
I know I made it myself actually.
Did you?
Yeah, because I went to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
That's awesome. Yeah. What house are you in?
I'm Slytherin.
Of course, yes.
Anyway, so we're NaNoWriMo interns. Us two here.
I also work at NaNoWriMo, but I'm a former intern.
That's true.
I'm Tim. I'm the editorial director here at Nano. And unfortunately, I can't stay the whole time, but I'm going to stay through the first sprint. And now that I've mentioned sprints, maybe you're asking, what is a sprint?
That's a very good question.
So we're so happy you're joining our virtual write-in. If you've never been to a virtual write-in before, basically it's just a time for us to spend time together and write together. And sometimes goof off together. That happens. Mostly we do word sprints here. And if you've never done a word sprint before, a word sprint is a timed writing exercise. We'll give you like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, sometimes even 10 minutes. And then your whole deal is to write as fast as you can during that 10-minute or however long word sprint. And at the end of that, sometimes we'll ask you your word counts or to give us a sentence that you particularly liked or had a ton of fun with. And we will also give you prompts. The prompts are always, always, always optional. If they don't work for your story, feel free to like chuck them out the window or defenestrate them, if you want to use the fancy word.
Whoa.
The prompts are also in the video description below. And so we'll let you know which prompt we're on, if we're on the warm-up prompt or prompt 1 or whatever. And Shelby is over in the chat right now. And so if you have questions, direct them towards her. She's the person behind the National Novel Writing Month account at the moment. And we're so stoked to be here. My dream one of these days is to get a bunch of confetti and reenact that Andy Dwyer gif. You know which one I'm talking about?
That's totally possible.
But I also don't want to clean up the confetti afterwards.
We'll just get one of those portable vacuums.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
It won't be that bad.
One day, maybe next week we'll do it.
We won't reuse the confetti. So.
Yeah. Cool. I think we're gonna do a prompt, right?
Yeah. So as we're waiting for people to trickle in and settle down, we have a little warm-up prompt for you guys. So this first warm-up prompt is 5 minutes, and the prompt is, how did your character receive their name? So is it passed down from tradition as old as time, or did their mother maybe read The Great Gatsby and decided they really loved the name Daisy? Or maybe it's more unfortunate than that, or maybe she picked it out of a book or out of a hat. So we don't know, but you know, so we want you to give us the backstory.
Yeah.
And we will call time when there's, we will let you know when there's 1 minute left in the time. And we would really love to hear some of your responses in the chat. So let us know. We'll read some of the cool ones.
We're going to go for how long is this?
5 minutes?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Cool.
Great. And go. You guys have about 1 more minute. If you guys want to share why your character's name is what it is, please share it in the chat. And time.
What?
I didn't know that was going to ring.
Good. Shocks you into finishing your sentence.
Yes, so.
If you need a second to finish your sentence, go for it. And then, like Hannah said, if you want to share word counts, like how many words you wrote during that sprint, or a possible awesome sentence or two, that'd be great. Check it out. Why were you guys named? Do you know the story behind your guys' names?
I don't think there's a cool one. Like, my name was just chosen because of its meaning. It means faith in Arabic and like all Middle Eastern languages and South Asian. And so it's either that or Farida, which is like totally the opposite. I don't see myself as a Farida. So I got my name.
Nice.
My mom just really liked the name Hannah.
Yeah.
Like, there was no other choice. Like, if I was a boy, it would have been Aaron, and that was that. Yeah.
I like it.
So, and then my dad didn't have any say in that.
My like name Tim like doesn't really have a story behind it, but my Korean name, so it's Hyojun, right? And in Korean, like each generation has like one character that gets passed down to like everyone in that generation. So me, my sister, all my cousins and stuff would share this one character. Yeah, it's kind of neat. But for our generation, it was pronounced Pong, which is really weird. Like even it sounds weird in like English too. It's just like saying it, but like in Korean even it's super weird. And so my name was supposed to be Hobong, which is like just as weird in Korean as it sounds like to you. So my dad was like, "No, we can't do this." So he changed the whole like generation character.
Really?
Yeah.
So did other people have the character
Yeah.
already?
So my oldest cousin is Kibong, but he's the only one. So good. Are you seeing any good word counts?
So let's see. Phoenix Rose Queen got 182 words.
Holy smokes.
Tabitha 920 got 219 words.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool. Anyone talking about their characters' names?
We got a few here. So J Star Roar says, "My character's name is Callista. Her parents fled Earth and headed for Jupiter's moons. They thought they would land on Callisto, but their new home was, I'm sorry if I'm butchering this."
Ganymede?
Yeah, I guess. But they'd already decided on the name.
I love that. That's super cool. I like that how that name like plays into the backstory and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but Athea Mason said, "My character Otto got his name for silly reasons. One, because in sophomore year global studies we learned about Germany and Otto von Bismarck. I was in love with the name at the moment I read it." I can't read things out loud, guys. It doesn't happen.
That was great, Hannah.
Oh, interesting. There's been at least 2 other Ottos.
Oh, nice. Otto's a super cool name.
Yeah, it is.
I like it.
All right. So,
actually, I'm going to duck out and let you guys go for this next sprint, but have a ton of fun. Thank you so much for joining us for our virtual write-in, and write a lot. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Okay. So if you guys see me looking down, it's because I'm keeping time. Not because I'm cheating. I did see that.
I know. And this couch was a little squishy. We saw that too.
Yeah.
So
today our topic is going to be character development. We're going for more of a outline planning thing today. It is the first day of camp. We don't want to put too much on everyone the first day.
Yeah.
So, sometimes getting to know your character is tough. But really, in order to write your character and know why they do the things that they do, we need to explore why your character is the way they are. Because sometimes, like, what if you wrote your character at a protest or something and they didn't really feel like they fit in? Why is that? Should they have even be put into the protest before? And things like that.
So it's especially important to get to know your characters now at the beginning of camp as we're getting settled in. So if it's a new character, sometimes you need some wiggle room to like figure things out, and that actually might be one of the reasons that you may not be able to start your novel. Or if it's an old character, maybe you guys need to get reacquainted, and that's why we're here. So another thing is, aside from how your character thinks and speaks, uh, characteristics can manifest physically also. So you could think about what physical quirks help define your character, like what are their mannerisms, do they have any odd habits or superstitions or things that they've grown up with. And one thing we'd like to point out is that there's some things that don't define your character, such as having a disability, sexual orientation, ethnicity or race, etc. So those things definitely influence how a character reacts and thinks about situations, but it is not that sole defining characteristic of your character.
So if you guys are just joining us, we're going to go into word sprint number 1. So we're going to be about 7 minutes long. So the prompt is going to be write 10 things that your reader won't know about your character. So obviously, the possibilities are endless, but it should be kept pretty relevant to how you think your character is going to be. Don't just write something down because it's, something that you're deciding at the last second. I mean, you could decide at the last second too, but we want it to actually be connected to your character and make this useful. So it's really going to help you guide your character through the journey of your novel. It's going to help you know why they make the choices that they do, or, little things like why they have that floral-esque but not really floral tattoo on their ankle, or why maybe they even speak in a higher octave when they're nervous. Things like that.
Or if this prompt doesn't float your boat or you're way ahead of us, we want you to include a miniature purple giraffe somewhere in your current paragraph. And as earlier, we will give you a 1-minute warning when time is up, and you have about 7 minutes. And when we call time, we would like you guys to share one favorite fact about your character in the chat, and we'll read some of the ones that we see.
And as always, these are completely optional. You can just join us and write along if you want and share your word count if that's what you're going to do today. Okay? And time starting now. about 1 more minute left. That was very high pitched. Maybe I'm nervous. Right. So time is up. So I'm on. What's one thing
Okay.
about your character?
Oh, fun facts about my character?
Yeah, just one thing that no one's gonna know unless they read
Ooh,
your novel.
I guess one fact would be that they're insecure of their accomplishments or their lack of accomplishments compared to their other friends. They kind of have FOMO, if you think about it. So you wouldn't know that unless you would read the story. And yes, there was a bird chirping outside our window. I saw a lot of you guys talking about that, and I agree we should have our own Jeopardy kind of music, but maybe not as like intense as Jeopardy. And Jeopardy music stresses me out personally.
Yeah, it might be a little stressful just to have, you know, it continuing on.
Yeah. And so we're gonna read a couple of your favorite facts about your character. So if you have some cool ones, send us, or if your word count. So so Katie R, has written already 3,600 words. That's kind of amazing.
That's good.
She says, my main character is pregnant during the beginning of the book, though she didn't even know for a good portion of it, but when she found out, she didn't tell her murderous boyfriend. Whoa. That's kind of intense.
That's really intense.
Yeah.
I want to read that.
Yeah. And,
so, sorry if I'm butchering all your names. Marissa Bryce said, I already don't feel like writing more, and it's only the first day. You've gotten a little over 1,000 words. You know, that's totally okay. It's the first day. That's why we're here and giving you guys things to try to inspire you and, you know, to move past it. I don't even have, besides what we're doing, I don't even have one word down yet. So, you know, as long as you keep writing, you're going to be good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, 1,000 words for the first day is kind of amazing. I'm like excited if I write like 300 words. So
yeah, I'm really excited if I get to 300.
Yeah, so I would totally just take a break, read something else, listen to music. A lot of you guys like to listen to soundtracks, so do we. So, we got a purple giraffe mention by Callie Haskett. So they're saying when their female main character found out she was going to have a little girl, she went to the baby store in town and came across the miniature purple giraffe. The miniature purple giraffe is a keepsake for their female main character's daughter when she's placed for adoption upon birth.
Well, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I really like that. Okay, and then we'll read one more. Well, there's another purple giraffe, but let's find. So Madeline Hatter lover said, her lover keeps a mark for every time. Sorry if I'm reading that wrong, guys.
I think the character.
Yeah, so the character keeps a mark for every time she hesitates to kill to help prove she's still human.
You guys are writing some like intense stories.
I know, I want to read all of them.
I know.
Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to word sprint number 2. It's going to be about 5 minutes long, give or take. I do have a quote. It's about unlikable characters from Roxanne Gay. I can't speak today, guys. But she is a novelist and an essay writer. So the quote is, perhaps then unlikable characters, the ones who are the most human, are also the most alive. Perhaps this here we go again. Intimacy makes us uncomfortable because we don't dare to be so alive.
Maybe that quote relates to us right now during this chat.
Right.
Anyway, the prompt is, what is the most unlikable quality about your character? So is it just one mannerism that the other main character can't stand, or maybe your character as a whole is not very likable? Is there a reason that it's important to know why they are the way they are? So please let us know about that.
We also have an optional prompt for you guys if that doesn't really work for you. Our optional prompt is to incorporate the phrase bad blood in your next sentence, or if your next sentence isn't going to work, sometime during this word sprint would be good. As always, if you just want to write alongside us, that's great too. We are going to start time now.
And we'll give a warning when there's 1 minute left in the time also.
You guys, this is your 1-minute warning. If you would like to share any of your unlikable qualities about your characters with us, please do so in the comments or in the chat. Right, and that is time.
Okay.
So if you guys need a second to finish up with your writing, please do so. It looks like we are gathering some awesome little sprints here. So for my character, not really, I don't know. I guess her name's Aubrey, and she always has a dire need to be right even when she is not right. So that just causes a lot of arguments between everyone, and it gets her into a lot of trouble.
Okay, so we're gonna read some of the things you guys put in the chat. So Megan Blake says, "Oh, and you used bad blood also. Awesome. My main character just got kicked out of his home for coming out as trans, and is currently riding the train to get to college. Sam was his brother, and he used to love him, but after coming out, he treated him like he had bad blood."
Bonus brownie points for using it, or both of them.
Yeah.
So Bright Neon Brilliancy said, my main character can be disliked because of her tendency to be distrusting and jealous. She believes the worst in people, usually adults, and gets jealous very easily, though she tries to hide it.
I see some of you guys had a little struggle with this one. I've seen like 57 words from Dana Dirksen, while some of you guys are higher, but that's okay. I mean, at least you're getting started. These are just to get you inspired.
Yeah, so for me, feel like maybe today we shouldn't concentrate so much on the word count.
Yeah.
Like, word counts are great, but don't beat yourself up about it because you aren't exactly where you want to be. It's just the first day.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna butcher this again. Zab Plymouth? Is that how you would say it?
Yeah, that's how I would say it.
Okay. Says, he's good for a laugh, but that was a problem for someone like me, and when he actually sobers up, he can't cope. What a way to live. There's some heavy.
There's a lot of heavy in this chat.
Yeah.
So Ivy Hope says, my character has a really bad temper and ends up punching a minister or priest. Does that count? Yes, it counts. I mean, I don't know many people. I don't know any people that have punched a minister or a priest that they told me about.
Yeah. So should we take a coffee break?
We should take a coffee break. So
whatever. Grab your mugs, you know.
They're a little empty.
Yeah, we're gonna
so if you guys want to bring us some coffee, you can do that. I'll accept it.
So coffee breaks are like our little mini games in the middle of our virtual write-in. So if you're feeling a little stuck, or your hands cramping up, or or the word count is getting to you, so why don't we just relax and play a little word game?
Well, this is still more of a writing one. We'll have more
for this time
inclusive ones later on in future virtual write-ins, but for now, using your character's full name, and if they don't have a full name, this is the time to give them a full name. Write a poem using only the letters in their name. And the trick is you cannot repeat any of the letters within a word. So, for example, if your character only has one S in their entire name, do not use a word like necessary or slushy, because that's more than one S. So it's going to be about 10 minutes, but we will continue to kind of read out and talk to you guys, but this is also a good time if you need to use the bathroom or
If you actually really do want coffee
and or need to get something to eat, the time is to do it now. So I'm going to set it for 10 minutes.
And we'll give you a 1-minute warning, just like for all the other prompts.
Yeah, and definitely share them with us, please. See, I need to create my character's full name. I don't even know what her full name is, and I've been at this for a long time. So, Nerdific Princess, I can't write poems either, but we can try together. It doesn't have to be like a haiku. We talked about this earlier. Haikus are hard. But if you just want to do a line poem where you like put their entire name down on the side of your paper and write from there, that's a good way.
Yeah, I would do a line poem if you're really stuck. It's a good way to think of descriptive words for your character, and it helps you develop their personality too.
So what I'm doing is I'm writing all the letters that I have and how many of them that there are, so I don't mess up.
Or if this prompt is hard, you guys can always share some of what you guys wrote in the other prompts, and we can also read those too.
Yeah, definitely. So to reiterate what we're doing, we have about 6 minutes left. We are writing a poem using our character's full name. So it can be any type of poem you want, but do not reuse letters within the same word. So if your character has one S in their name, don't use necessary or slushy or, other words with more than one S in your poem. I only have one S in her name, and I'm having a hard time. Apparently S's are used a lot.
You can do a line poem too.
Yeah, the alternate line poem. I'm just trying. I don't know. I haven't done this before. I thought it looked fun. A lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
I know.
So
Our
next
bad.
time I will try the prompt before I give it to you guys. But like I have 3 words to my poem right now, guys. It's really hard. But you can do it. But otherwise, just write your character's name down on the side of your page and, write a line for each one. And you can use the full name of your character. First, middle, last. You don't have to use just your first name for your character. We can name the bird. I don't know if he'll be here. You guys are coming up with some good ones.
Yeah.
Mine is... I have 6 words now. I don't think it makes sense. But it's getting there. So we're going to give you 1 more minute, and then we're going to finish up. J4, I think that we can say what you guys, if you guys want to say what you learned, that would be awesome. And it's also time. Sorry.
So we realized that a lot of you guys had problems with our coffee break. I guess it wasn't that much of a break.
Yeah, it seemed like more of a mentally strenuous activity. So my prompt, or my poem is A House, Bore, Joy, or Sob.
Wow. I didn't get to it because I was reading your guys's. So we'll read some of yours. So Barbara Proietti says, aim our arm to moon, our hour turn to earn, hunt at hint or morn. Whoa, it was like really like mysterious. And then Joelle Driver says, hard ice, river eel, end.
Then Georgia B, so the name is Echo Morrison. Sorry if I butchered that. It echoes to me home. I miss home. It echoes to me him. I miss him. It echoes to me them. I miss them. That's really pretty. I
Yeah,
like that
I
a
like
lot.
that one. That was awesome. And Shadowy Flight says this literally makes no sense, but on Red Mesa, Oregon's drone, more mad rage. Whoa. You guys kind of came up with some like dark poetry from your names.
All
Oh,
right.
and Taylor Blanchard, this is a Hogwarts alumni shirt. I homemade it. so coffee break is over. I don't know if you guys got coffee. It's too hot to get coffee right now, personally. But we are moving on to Word Sprint 3. And for this one, you will have 5 minutes. And the prompt is write about your main character from the perspective of someone else.
So it can be from their love interest, the point of view of their cat, their brother, the vase in the corner. It doesn't matter who it's from, but try to gain a different perspective of your character. So you guys are going to have 5 minutes. If you want to share your favorite line in the chat when you are finished, that would be awesome too. I'm going to start time now.
the prompt is 5 minutes, and we're almost actually at the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, so
And
consider this your 1 minute warning.
yeah, and again, it's to write about your main character from the perspective of someone else. So you guys can start sharing it in the chat, and we'll read aloud some of them.
And also, it's fine if you don't finish. If you want to, next Tuesday we will be back, and you can share some of it with us then too. Great, that is time. Finish up your sentence. We're going to read a couple of these out, and then we're going to move on to the last prompt of the day because we're running low.
So, which one? Okay, so Emily Smith, who also just broke 1,000 words, congratulations, says, I wrote from a 6-year-old daughter's perspective. She's wondering why her daddy won't tell her about the other person in the picture with him.
Amber Hart said that I got to 6,363 words done. Yay, I've never gotten this far before. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
That's
for
really
the first
awesome.
day.
Then Myriad Marie said a sense of pride marked her gait and in all the ways seemed lovely indeed. It was as if all our fates could rest in her arms, and only then we would know of our safety, and that was only at a glance.
Okay.
So we're going to
our last word sprint.
Last one of the day, till next Tuesday. Give you guys about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So this one's longer, so if you guys don't finish, don't worry about it. If you guys want to share it next week in the chat, that's fine too. So the prompt is start off your story or chapter with your character going on a bike ride. If you are in the middle of a chapter or something and it doesn't fit in, start your next scene with it. Just go with it. What does your character see? If your world you're writing in doesn't have bikes, how do they get around? Adapt to the situation.
And a lot of you guys have been commenting about the bird. So bonus points if you mention the bird in your story, as some of you have been calling it the nano bird. So
yes, bonus points for nano bird. And we're going to start now.
If your universe doesn't have bikes, tell us about what type of transportation they would use, whether it's horses or spaceships or broomsticks, whatever.
Hoverboards. For whatever reason, I just started writing in third person when my story is first person. I don't know where that happened.
So we have a little bit over a minute left in the time, so if you guys want to start letting us know what your character's riding on, traveling in, transporting in, and what they're seeing, so just put it in the chat.
Apparently, NaNoBird came back to hear about itself. Right, you guys? That is time. Finish up whatever sentence you're on. If you would like to share your favorite sentence from this sprint, please do so in the chat.
So member 3434 says, my transportation is going to be a bird in honor of NaNoBird. NaNoBird is just this bird that's chirping outside our window. Everyone started talking about it in the chat. So that's why we were mentioning him too.
Yeah, so bonus points for NaNoBird. We can't even see NaNoBird.
I know.
Matthew E. Norden said, my main story revolves around the invention of a teleport machine. That's awesome.
And Jacqueline B says, writing, I looked around the small village. It was endearing to hear children laughing as they ran around the streets playing and the birds chirping. I could care less about the labyrinth we are heading to.
And then Kristen Donnelly said, my horse's legs moved smoothly beneath me, and I enjoyed the pure freedom of her stride. It cleared my head, the wind rushing past, and I could forget all of my pain just for a moment. Right, guys. Well, that is it for the word sprints today. Thank you so much for joining us. So if you guys have any suggestions for future word sprints and what you would want to see for virtual write-ins in the future, please leave them below in the comments and not the chat, because the chat's going to disappear after the live stream ends.
Yeah. And so our kind of overarching theme for our virtual write-ins are the who, what, where, when, why, and how. That is a mouthful. And next week we'll be focusing on what. So we'll be talking about plot and point of view. And so our schedule for our virtual write-ins will be Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Tuesdays and Wednesdays will not be repeating topics, so each virtual write-in will be about something different.
Yeah. So for next week, in addition to, if you wanted to share your transportation word sprint, I would like for you guys to try and write a paragraph where the first sentence starts with 26 words and the last sentence ends with 1. So if you have a paragraph and start with 26 words, it goes down to 25 words the next sentence, 24 the next after that, 23, 22, etc. Okay? And I would love to see those on Tuesday.
Yeah,
Or-
you guys could share one of your sentences that you really like in that paragraph.
Yeah, the whole paragraph might be a little long.
Yeah.
Alright guys, thanks so much for riding with us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
I'm just creeping out.